Ironically, Brad was attached to Ford versus Ferrari at one point.
Right, and Tom Cruise was also
Tom Cruise
in
was attached, Brad was attached. It's had like 5 directors. I think it's about 15 years in development, the movie.
Did Tom fall out because he wanted to make it about planes? It's like, guys, I have a great idea.
He's
Instead
a
of cars.
car driver, Tom, right? Yeah.
Tom just wants to do anything fast.
Yeah, it's true.
Right. So, Peter, tell me how you deal with that when someone like Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt drops out of a project. Does it feel like a loss, or it's just part of the system for you?
You know, this was one of those things where we were different people. You know, it's one of those things where you're just trying to line up a couple of actors, a director, a studio, financing, and drive a nail through it at the right time. And so people were coming in and out. It's originally Michael Mann's project for a long time, and so people, you know, it was just sort of trying to get them all to line up, and it wasn't so much people dropping out as you were just trying to get it all to be in sync at the same time.
It's never easy to get a movie made. They can sit in development for years and years and years. How do you know when a movie is worth fighting for?
Ultimately, you have to bet on your own gut on these things.
Yes,
You have to sort of
absolutely.
say, I'm not an alien. I'm a human. I'm emotional. I want to laugh. I want to cry. I want to be moved by things. And take a sense of responsibility. I believe that this is a responsible telling of this story.
Absolutely.
It may indeed be controversial, but I believe it's controversial for a reason. And then, hell with it. Hopefully it'll work, and it may not work. But you know, you can't sort of second guess. You know, look. I always used to say that these jobs are wildly subjective. With one exception, which is you know your own thoughts and feelings remarkably well. And it's the one thing you know with certainty. And you know when you read the script for the first time that this thing moves me, or this thing is exciting, or this thing is funny, or whatever those things are. And that's the least subjective thing in the whole process. And you know, you may know that, look, I've got a blind spot for certain things. I probably shouldn't do movies about this, or I shouldn't. But in general, in a world of complete subjectivity, your own gut is the one thing you know objectively. And you should listen to it and bet on it. Making something great is a battle. You know, light disappearing. The actors aren't getting along. You know, the script isn't quite working in this moment. You know, what you come to realize is these things are so fragile. Every moment has to be near perfect, and you only get that by just sort of being relentless about sort of struggling with it. And the struggle is noble. You know, without sounding too highfalutin, it's what you're supposed to do. It's not supposed to be easy.
What is the one film you would tell every aspiring producer to watch?
Probably I'd say Titanic. Just because it was such an extraordinarily impossible production.
It was a tall order.
It was insanely difficult, challenging, and sort of threw every imaginable problem at trying to make a movie. And, you know, at the same time had as big an impact as arguably any movie in history. And so it sort of both shows you the promise of what you could potentially achieve, but it was hell.
Still one of my favorites.
Hell on a level unimaginable.
Even now, you still feel that many years later.
Well, it was, you know,
When was the last time you saw it? I haven't seen it in a while.
I see bits and pieces of it, but it was, when I greenlit it, it was the most expensive movie ever made. And we went more over budget than the budget was.
Oh my gosh.
Is that right?
Wow.
Just in production, or with your...
Mostly in production, We went $105 million.
There's a director who would not take no for an answer.
But it was also a great lesson because it was it was sort of out-of-body experience, which is everything public about the movie was a disaster. And every personal interaction I had, I thought it was phenomenal. It was a phenomenal pitch. It was a phenomenal script. It was phenomenal dailies. He showed us an hour of footage, and so you'd sort of, and you know, the only decision I made was just go deeper.
Was that an easy decision to make, or did you panic a little bit about that?
I didn't panic. I assumed I was going to get fired. But I was ready to be fired for it. But it was an easy decision. And, you know, look, in that sort of situation, you've got 3 alternatives. Shut it down entirely. That seemed like a bad idea. $140 million in. Replace the director. Seemed like a bad idea. Or try and make it great. And it just seemed clear to me the only hope was to make it great.
You're right. You do have a good gut.
Hi, I'm Deborah Martin Chase.
Hi, I'm Dan Lin.
I'm Peter Chernin.
Hi, I'm Charlize Theron, and thank you for watching.
Thanks so much for watching.
Thank you for watching the Hollywood Reporter Roundtable.
Hollywood Reporter Roundtable.
Roundtables on YouTube.
On YouTube.